Peace out, SPAC readers. We are at Industry in Denver, Colorado for Denver Startup Week. This conference took place September 16th through the 20th, 2019, and it didn't just happen at Industry in Denver. It happened all over Denver. In fact, I wasn't even able to attend all the programs that I wanted to because they were overlapping and in different locations. But the upside of that is there was a lot to see. The first talk I managed to successfully find was called From Cocktail Napkin to Mass Production. Patrick Monahan was speaking. He's an industrial designer at Design Elevation, and he was teaching all the noobs about how to get started in product development the right way.
Started internally, and the core team brainstormed everything that could possibly be a need for the product. And we'll do some interviews first and kind of get some feedback to help you pick out those potential needs. And then you want to go out to a statistically significant number of people that are potential customers and ask them what their needs are.
TIDE Denver had kind of a pitch competition, and the winner this year was in the physical product development space, a medical device from Vaporox.
To give you a sense of the magnitude, the cost to our medical system of diabetic foot ulcers is more than the 5 most expensive cancers combined.
The rest of that presentation involves some pretty graphic images of diabetic foot ulcers, so let me just show you the device instead and let you know that it's clinically proven to work. It accelerates the healing of wounds, particularly diabetic foot ulcers. Across town at the library was a panel called Prototyping versus Production, When to Make the Leap, and this one had a lot of great information for people just starting out in product development. Seasoned experts explained on a real basic level what to expect in prototyping versus production for both mechanical components and electronics.
Whether it's China or Vietnam or whatever, or even Mexico, really think about what your design maturity is, what kind of churn you're expecting to see, because that's where people lose their shirts, is flying back and forth to China over and over and over again, making changes, and those changes are tougher to roll in. Design churn is what drives the price tag up.
And depending on when that change comes in, where you are in the process, how much it can cost, what it can do, what the kind of the backlash is when you hit a change, depending on where you are.
I think for the prototypers along in the room, it's going to be a lot easier because we may be running 5 boards. So we have orders coming in where we'll get a PO or we'll get the credit card, and we're just starting, and the customer will say, "Oh, hold on, I got new files." Okay, it's fine. As you get farther down the process, it just gets more difficult.
Once you get it into production with us, it's going to be very painful because we've already launched orders for long lead time parts. Boards have already been ordered, programs are already started, stencils, NRE, things have happened, and if we're starting down that road and then you go, hey, we have a problem, it's going to be a big deal for you. So get it wrung out on the front end, make sure everything is copacetic before you even think about launching into production, because production becomes very expensive when you have to start backtracking on that. We basically start over.
For the injection molder, it's important for a guy like him to know what their final process is, if it is going to be a final process, because the one thing that I see with additive manufacturing is people get really far down the road and then they want to injection mold it and it can't be done. He can print things really thin, he can print things that go thin, thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, and it doesn't matter, but in an injection molded process it does and it won't work. So I think those are the keys, or you can design a feature that you can't physically make in a tool, but you can print all day long.
In the case of the part I just finished, it took 90 hours of print. I sliced that one probably 10 times because I wanted to make sure I was using as little material as I could and as little time as I could in the machine, and yet producing a high quality part at the end, where any clip features that were on there were going to print in the right orientation so that it would just snap right off when the print was finished. Then, when we do print the part, we do a QC inspection, and it's not as glamorous or fancy as these guys over here with laser inspection and all that. We look at it, and we say, yeah, it looks like a good part, and we take a few measurements too.
Taking a trip over to Dairy Block Alley for the physical product showcase was definitely worth it. There are lots of startups with their goods on display, although the acoustics of this venue did leave something to be desired.
Hey, I'm Jalali Hartman. I'm the founder of Roboto. This is a Bitly robot platform. I basically made this because I wanted a cool, advanced, low-cost robot to swarm on my own. It's designed to travel around. Right now it's kind of trying to figure out this crowd, having a hard time figuring out the crowd. That's your basic AI platform that everybody can get started with. Built and designed by students here in Colorado.
How old are the students?
The students range from 3rd to 6th grade.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think the youngest kid that we've had program is probably 6 or 7 years old.
That's amazing.
That actually contribute code to us. So.
And then you also give this to larger companies as a development platform?
Yeah, so one of the things we found is that, so we give these to schools and libraries and it's great. Actually, it turns out big companies really need this kind of technology. Right now we're working in automotive, healthcare, aerospace. Provide a base platform that people get started with.
I'm Mark. This is IBM. We're with Carb Track. So this Carb Track is a product that we kind of dreamed of doing a walk in Oklahoma, if you can believe it. And we decided that we needed to make a product. He's got bad knees. We need to make a product.
Several bad, well, 2 bad.
Several bad knees?
2. And I'm just a smidge overweight, and I can't get down to blue without taking a break. So we wouldn't have created something for older skiers or maybe injured skiers that allowed them to ski longer and faster with more edge control. So we created Carb Track. It's a very simple design, which means we can sell it in a lot of places. It's not real expensive. So it has a gas spring that basically takes the weight off your back and knees, and it engages right here. So it's very easy, and you kind of get the idea. It just goes around your leg as such. Good timing. But it sits in like this. And the cool thing is it hooks into the back of your boot. So it drives all that force and pressure, it takes it off your back and knees and butt, and puts it into the boot, and drives it into the ski, which is why it creates better edge control as well. So this will be on market in 2020, and we are super excited about it. And yeah, so tell them about how it helps.
In 2020 it's going to be available? Like
not this season, but we'll have demos, and we're taking next ski season for mass, this season for demos.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
where are the demos going to be?
Here in Colorado.
That would make sense.
Anywhere you want to go. Eldora, Breckenridge, Keystone, A-Basin.
You're going to have them there like for renting or just?
No, you
just
have to sign up or reach out to our website.
Oh, okay.
KARBTRAK.com. Just send us a note and we'll come ski with you.
Wow, that's so cool. Awesome. And about how much are these going to retail for that you're shooting for now?
We don't know exactly what yet, but about $5.99 or $6.99 around that.
Okay, cool.
My name is Shaka. I
Get in there.
am one of the co-founders of CypherScan.
And who are you?
My name is Craig. I'm one of the 3 co-founders of CypherScan.
Cool. Now what the heck is this?
All right, so CypherScan, we're a data company, and basically our core technology is a sensor circuit, and that circuit transmits power and data, right, and also senses motion. And so right now we have it in a form factor of repeating geometric patterns, as you can see here, and basically that mesh, if you will, or this grid pattern, can conform around any object. So whether it's a pipe or an arm or a knee or a head, it doesn't really matter. The object is going to matter. And once it wraps around that object, it senses motion due to the stretch related to that motion. So as the sensor stretches, it registers a change in the electrical properties of the circuit. So there's a change in resistance or change in voltage, and we can measure that change and then translate that into a number or an image. The image we call a digital mirror. Okay, so yep.
Okay, and then so the stretch happens in these places between the nodes.
That's right.
Electrically, at least. Because it's stretching all over.
So it stretches mechanically, and that mechanical stretch changes the electrical characteristics of the circuit. Because remember, it's running power and data along.
So there's a change in resistance, which means there's a change in the voltage measured at the end of each node.
So anywhere that it moves, it can localize that motion to each point in the grid. So if the pipe moves in just one section, we can see that the motion has happened right here. And we can see different types of motion as well, because there's a pattern to it. If it's twisting, if it's a big bend, if it's vibration, all of those things will have a different signature, and it affects the grid differently.
Cool. And so right now, are you mostly just using it on that demo that we saw with the leg? Is it mostly for people?
Yes. Yeah, so great question. So what we've done, we see the world as cylinders and flat surfaces, right? And what we're focused on right now are single cylinder systems, if you will. So like a pipe, or an arm, or a leg, for example. And so, so right now we've built a sensor system for pipeline monitoring, so we can monitor leak detection, essentially, for pipes.
Oh, neat.
Because we're looking at the structural integrity of a pipe.
Is it only if the pipe explodes?
Well, not necessarily. So even if the pipe is vibrating, or there's a slight bend in the pipe, or over time there's degradation of the structure itself, we can see that. So every node in this grid can have a modular subsensor attached to it. So this can be on a body, this would be like O2 saturation, heart rate, temperature, things like that. On a pipe, it would be acoustic flow, temperature, stuff that's relevant to an industrial world. So if we did have even a small leak in the pipe, there would be a change in the acoustic properties of the fluid going down the pipe, and we could localize that change to a point in the pipeline.
That is wild.
So we're doing pipes, and then we're also doing arms, so range of motion in the upper limb. We found some good traction with, not surprisingly, pitchers and their training staff in professional baseball.
Oh, baseball pitchers.
Developed the most the knee sleeve, which measures the joint health of the knee. And what we mean by that is the full range of motion of the knee, as well as how fast it swings and the force generated around that joint. And so it's one of our products that I think that I'm most proud of, actually, because there's a clear use case for it. It's return to play. So if you injure your knee, you can put this on, and we can see how well is your knee moving around.
And yeah, you actually have metrics to measure that versus just, it feels better.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of the eyeball tests and like these subjective assessments, we have objective data,
That's huge.
data that shows this is where you need to be, this is where you are right now.
With numbers. Wow. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
My name is William Lepesco. I'm the founder of PupTech, and we're building a portable environmental monitor to help dog owners make better informed decisions about how to care for their dogs.
So if the dog's in the car, you can monitor how they're doing without someone breaking your window.
Exactly. So we have this product that connects to the app on your phone, and it comes with these window stickers that have our unique interface so that people can actually check on the dog in the car and not smash the windows.
That's key.
This is the whole evolution of our product. This represents about 2 years worth of evolution. So we started with 3D printing on some kits. And these are different kits that we experimented with. Then we went to off-the-shelf enclosures. Then we went back to custom. This is actually one of the boards that I soldered myself when we did a lot of custom soldering work.
Wow.
And then we started refining. We shipped out 20 of these this summer. So these ones actually worked, and then we refined the production units, and now we have 300 of these in production.
So you're saying this was crowdfunded?
This was crowdfunded on Indiegogo last summer. And
like right from the start, or did you make some versions beforehand?
Oh, no, we got here. This is what we crowdfunded on.
Wow.
And then from there, we've iterated to get to here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that you have them all lined up like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what people want. That's what people came here to see, is the evolution of a hardware product.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So are you shipping now, but just for the
We're going to be shipping 300 units starting in October.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then, but that's just for the people who funded you before,
yeah,
right?
So then we're trying to raise enough money to be able to purchase our next batch of units so that we can start selling them. I mean, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
We just need more money to be able to actually order them so that we can send them out.
Can people like sign up for
I don't know, pre-order?
Yeah, so people can go right now on our website and pre-order for $165, which is a great deal because it's going to retail for $249.
But then it's a subscription too, right?
Yeah, so it comes, because it's a cellular device, it comes with a $7 a month or $70 a year subscription that pays for that cellular connectivity. So that way it'll work anywhere in the country where there's a cellular signal.
Very cool. And what's the website?
Puptech.com.
Great.
That's Puptech with 2 P's.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're Beatrice Forms. My name is Allison. This is my husband, Nathan. And we created our company. So I'm a home sewist. I sew all my own clothes. We're both software engineers. Nathan is also a mechanical engineer. And we saw a problem, and that is when you sew clothes, how do you get a great fit? You know how hard it is to make clothes so they fit you like a glove. And so I'm like, oh, I'm a software engineer. How can I solve this? I'm like, I need a dress form. I need a mannequin that is in my exact shape. So how do you create this? Well, I'm like, oh, I need to do a 3D scan.
Of course.
You need to do a 3D scan, but not everybody has a laser scanner, right?
Right.
So we invented a technology where you can scan with an app on your phone. It only takes about 3 minutes. And then we use that, it uploads to our server, and we create a 3D digital model of your body.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's super neat. And so we take those, and that's how we create our dress forms. So every single one is a unique piece of art. They're in the image of real people.
And then seamstress can go and take like your actual dummy and create a really good fit for custom clothing that you
That's right. So if you have a tailor, or if you sew for yourself, you can create clothing using this body double mannequin, so the clothing fits you exactly.
Very cool. So can you tell me more about the process behind it? So you have people put on, you guys were telling me some, is it spandex?
Yes. So
a cat suit?
So in order for our technology to work really well, to do the body scan with the phone, we have people wear special clothing. So this is just a knit top and a yoga short, and it's made with a texture, so it's a heather gray texture that helps our technology pick up your shape really well.
Cool. So it's not black, so you can still see the highlights and the shadows, different, the contrast, and it's not white, so same thing.
It's not white, it's not black, and you know, we used to let people pick out their own clothing.
Not anymore.
It didn't work. Everybody wears black spandex, and that doesn't work. And the flat skin, the skin is too flat, and so it's impossible to get a good rendering from that.
So tell me more about how you turn that into like a 3D model to then like your CAD, the software side of the model. Because you don't have any markers on this clothing that they have to wear when they're being filmed. And was it pictures or video?
So we take video and we extract still images from the video. And with those images, we construct a 3D model out of it. So when this 3D model is finally generated, then I take it and I use Blender. And I'll use this as an example here. So I take the 3D model and I smooth out all the like panty lines and maybe like bra straps and wrinkles from the t-shirt, maybe where it bunched up. And so then I remove the arms and I remove the legs and then I remove the head and I do like an extrusion with the neck to give it that like classic dress form look.
You can see it a little better on this 3D print.
Yeah.
How the neck is extruded.
Wow. You can even see like the clavicle in.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. It's really sensitive. So people don't want our very very first prototype still had the panty lines on it. So we realized pretty quickly that panty lines and bra straps weren't going to be a big sell. So we smooth all that out, and then we actually use Sketchfab for our approval process. So once the 3D model has been edited and smoothed out, we upload it to Sketchfab, and then we send a link to our customers, and then they're able to pan and zoom and rotate the model and then they can see, maybe I missed a little spot, or they'd like to have it smoothed out a little bit in this one area. And once they approve it, then we take a block of foam, and we take that block of foam and put it in a custom-made CNC machine, and it's like a rotisserie chicken style CNC machine. So it kind of rotates like this. So the block of foam rotates, and we've got a router that moves up and down and cuts the model out. And so when it's all done, we've got a full-size custom press form that we box up and ship to our customers.
So where can people go to find more about this or order some stuff?
Well, you can go to our Instagram, which is just Beatrice Forms, or beatriceforms.com.
We also have a YouTube channel, Beatrice Forms, and a lot of videos on there talking about our forms, showing we're working on a pants form. This is a prototype right now. So if you go there, you'll see a blog where we talk about this pants form, and it basically goes from the waist through the thigh, and it cuts in half at the crotch curve. So you can actually see for people who sew, if you sew pants, the holy grail is knowing the shape, how to design your crotch curve, but you can actually see it because you've done a 3D scan.
That's the worst part in jeans to make fit.
So hard. So yeah, no more mystery. Mystery solved.
For better and worse.
Awesome, thank you. What is the name of your company?
Outdoor Element. It's on my hat. See it?
Got it.
Alright, cool. So this is the fire beater. It's a fire starting carabiner. Put a little flint wheel in there. It's 1 ounce, stainless steel, rated for 100 pounds. Multi-tool, screwdriver, bottle opener, small little blade for fishing line, little hang slots for keys, so it's kind of an everyday carry, it's always on you. That little flint wheel is great for lighting your camp stove, so you can get the gas going, throw the spark up, get a fire going that way. Or you can light little tinders, so you can pull this apart, lay a spark in there. This is great to get your other kindling going.
Whoa.
So easy to do. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I play a lot in AutoCAD, so I draw it on AutoCAD first, see if I like it, make a bunch of different iterations, then I build it, 3D model in SolidWorks, and then once I think I have a good model, I usually 3D print it first, look at it, then my buddy's a machinist, and so I'll send him the CAD model, he'll machine it out, I'll go field test it, and if it's good, then we'll go launch it on Kickstarter, usually, so we do, because we don't have a lot of money, and that's fine, but that's what Kickstarter's there for, to crowdfund it. But it's been great to be part of Denver Startup Week and get products to the market, and now I have a Gen 2, so look for this in Kickstarter.
What's new?
In 3 weeks.
What's new with the Gen 2?
Yeah, so I met with some search and rescue guys, and they said, hey, build one for first responders.
Oh.
So this is an O2 wrench to start their O2 tanks, the oxygen, and then this is a window breaker, so tungsten carbide tip, a much larger cutter for seat belts and webbing, and then I kept that same little flint wheel, still a carabiner, and can always be on you, and if you get yourself in a pickle and need to escape from your car or burning events, you can get out.
Wasn't part of it a bottle opener too? Did you say that?
Oh
already?
yeah, sorry. There was a bottle built in right there. That little tip.
Oh.
We'll grab
bottle
one.
opener.
Yes. Yes. Good call. There it is.
Okay. What about these other products you have?
All right.
here?
So this is a survival bracelet. This is a ferro rod and hardened stainless steel striker, so I can start a fire by throwing sparks this way.
So cool.
This is good jute, which jute you can spread apart and turn into a bird's nest. So you pull it apart and you burn it up. See if I can get a fire going for you. So that's my small bird's nest, right? Then I can throw a spark here. There you go.
That's crazy.
And there you get your kindling going.
So would this be the type of thing where you're wearing it and you rip that jute apart and it would be like a one-use kind of thing?
Right, and we figured if it saved your life once,
that you wouldn't be mad about buying another one.
And in fact, if it does save your life, call me, email me.
Right.
I'll give you a new one if I can share your story.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, then we have this, sorry, I got more talking about hunting survival knife, replaceable gut hook, D2 steel, full tang.
It's amazing that you designed all these.
Yeah, thanks. And so I have its partner, it's a caping knife, right? So broke the hard angles here, so it's really comfortable. It has a good center of gravity, so it's properly balanced.
Wow, you really thought that out.
Yeah, no, totally did. But it's simple, easy to use. Again, if you're getting your mountain house going, get the fire going that way, because that little flint wheel built into it. And then it has the handle opens up. I think this one's open. So you would open that up and you can store your tinders in there if you needed to. So, and then the small one has a screwdriver tip, so you could take it apart in the field.
What?
So, caping knife, then the gut and skinning knife. But it's fun to design. It's what I do. Mechanical engineer by trade, so I love designing things and bring it to the market.
Tell me real quick about, so you started off with
yes,
this
the
version,
first thing
right?
I did was the survival bracelet, and my 6-year-old, she couldn't aim it to start a fire, right? So I thought,
I really want my child to be able to make
want my
fire.
6-year-olds making fires. I thought that was a good thing. And I thought everyone knows how to turn a wheel. And I love carabiners, right? So they're usually on me as a keychain or whatever. So I integrated into the carabiner, then added a couple more cool things on there. I thought, hey, it's simple, it's novel, and my 6-year-old did make fires, so I was happy with her. She could make a fire with it. She's now 8, so life is good.
She survived.
Yes.
Being able to make fire.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you are in retail stores right now, but you're also, you have the second
So
Kickstarter.
you can go to outdoorelement.com and buy my product there, or Amazon. Some of the REIs picked us up for the carabiners, and then we're in Ace Hardware, we're in Duluth Trading, Sportsman's Warehouse, and so a lot of people are starting to notice, and hopefully we pick up more distribution. A bunch of mom and pop shops, so a lot of people in Estes Park. Colorado's been good to us. I think the first 3 people were like fly fishing shops in Littleton that picked us up. So
cool.
Grateful to be in this community of outdoors here in Colorado.
And the Kickstarter for Gen 2, is that already online?
No, it's going to be out in 3 weeks. That's
Okay.
called the Fire Escape.
is the target date.
Yes, so please go to my website, sign up for our little...
And what's that website?
Outdoorelement.com. Yeah, go there, sign up, and then we'll send you an email saying, hey, it's coming out.
Okay.
Go support us.
Great. Awesome.
Small business, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So golf kicks comes in a kit, traction kit like this. There are 20 golf cleats in there and some extra stuff. You screw them into any pair of sneakers, and boom, you've got golf shoes.
So cool.
So yeah, the idea is provide more traction for playing golf.
Without having to buy actual golf shoes.
Yeah. Yep, you got it. And we make them out of glass-filled nylon in the core, and then it's a double shot mold. We overshoot with TPE material. And we've got a version 3, these are version 2. Version 3 is coming in about a month.
Oh boy.
And there's some top secret sauce in that one too, so
okay.
keep your eye out.
So we help obtain urban data from IoT sensor hardware, IoT infrastructure.
What's the name of your company? I can't pronounce it.
This is Archithought.
Archithought.
So if you think about an archetype is a typical pattern. Archithought is a pattern of recurrent thinking. And as we look to smart cities, they're all trying to solve the same problem. So that's why we look at recurrent patterns. In this kind of context here, we have hardware that is IoT hardware designed to help communities attain intelligence from data from these sensors.
Okay. What's this one?
This sensor here is a wind monitor. Gives us directional sound and wind. So we know that sound carries on the wind. Therefore, multiple sensors tell us where the sound is going, but more importantly, where it's coming from.
And what's the application for that? I'm sure there's many, but...
So, applications for sound monitoring are, in this incarnation, helping our music and entertainment venues defend noise complaints. When we start putting artificial intelligence and machine learning
Not
into
the wind
this,
one, just this one.
combination of both.
Oh, okay.
We get multiple sensors with sound, gives us direction, gives us triangulation on sound. When we put in artificial intelligence machine learning, we can actually recognize and classify sounds. So if we put this sensor next to a camera at an intersection, we can recognize a collision between 2 cars. Screeching rubber, collision, hits sound, notifies emergency personnel, and they're dispatched faster. This hardware is radio signal. We use this hardware for actually triangulation of digital devices. This can be used for applications for micro-location, asset tracking, for foot traffic in retail environments, for engagements. Also used in context of music and entertainment venues for how many people is actually in the venue.
So how is it doing that? How is it reading how many people are in the venue?
By detecting people's digital devices. Radio signals, Bluetooth. Also we could give a venue an ability to give a smart band, a digital band, that can hold your bar tab on there. It can hold all of your personal information for emergency purposes, but it also could be used at a conference facility where they're most typically given out, and you are scanned and badged. With a smart band, we know where you are.
Very cool. And then, so tell me about the open source kind of part of this.
So all of these are hardware applications that sit on the perimeter at the edge. Those are integrated into our cloud offering, so we can do IoT integration, which then we develop applications upon. So data through to applications, application insight, and then intelligence. From there, we open source data, that which we can, and we work with the developer community to then come through and develop different applications for community and civic applications.
Because you got so much data coming from so many places that you couldn't possibly dream up all the ways it could be used smartly, so you're opening that up to developers.
Yep.
That's cool.
Smarter together.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, dear.
Located in yet another part of Denver was the panel called Funding Your Physical Product. These startup leaders had some great tips on how not to bleed cash.
And when you're developing a new product, you know, you may get like a crappy price. Well, all right, let's start with the prototype. So you're gonna pay that awful price, but you're gonna get that product. And then guess what? I'm gonna send this out to another factory and another factory, and I'm gonna have them price compare. And let's start a little bidding war here. Let's find out what the real cost of this is. Let's not be taken advantage of. Let's try to get this product on the market at the best cost that we can and at the best quality.
Actually, something to that. It doesn't have to be overseas so much, but using multiple places to source your product from is obviously a great idea as well.
Goes by so fast, so you have to reduce your financial checkpoints every 60 days and not really get orders. And then you can see that you're off somewhere to her point. You have time to pivot and make adjustments. So the one thing I will say is really get used to innovation accounting and agile project management. If you're someone who gets stuck in their ways and you're a super security person, business in 2019 is not for you. You have to be agile and flexible and willing to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because things change just like that. So keep those forecasts to 60 days. Don't get caught up in the long-range plan, and be willing to say, hey, look, maybe I just got to produce maybe 100 pieces or units instead of 2,000, or maybe guess what, I don't produce anything this year, and that's okay.
This next panel was called How DIY Can Expletive Deleted Up Your Product. As a business owner myself who provides engineering services to startups, I really enjoyed this panel. These guys were sharing some of their war stories from projects that went horribly wrong with people who didn't come to them soon enough. And they also shared some of the mistakes that they just see repeatedly from people starting out in physical product development.
What's up that you commonly see when this happens, when they don't come to you from the onset?
A lot of the times we'll see people come in and they'll have a prototype that they've worked pretty hard on, and the kind of up there is that they'll get super attached to it. They'll say, this is the idea, it's golden, I love this thing, will you guys make it? And a lot of the times that's hard for us to do, because you've gotten too far in the process. Because a lot of times with that, they'll show their family and friends, but they won't go outside that. And of course, all their family and friends will be like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." It's like, no, you need to get it. You need to get it out into the world where
nobody thinks they're babies.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually was working with a client earlier this year where they lost all their tools. So like it had like 30 tools for their product, and they lost all their tools because they partnered with somebody who was willing to do their design at a very, very ridiculously low cost, because they wanted to lock them in to the manufacturing and make all the money back up on the back side. And things didn't go right. They didn't have a great specification package, and so like the product that they were getting out didn't really meet their requirements. And this was also offshore, so you're dealing with different time zones, different culture, and it just got to be a really big mess. They ended up having to walk away, and I actually forget how many hundreds of thousands of dollars they spent, but it was multiple, like $300,000 or $400,000. They had to go take all that again and go to a different manufacturer.
I had a potential client come in, and he had a brilliantly simple product, and he was explaining it, and I was sort of gathering how it worked. And he's like, oh, hold on, I've got a video, and he shows it to me, and it's on YouTube, and I look at it, and it's dated 14 months prior. I don't know if all of you know this, but in the patent world, your first public disclosure or offer for sale starts a clock. And if you don't file an application on that invention within those 12 months, you've pretty much forfeited your patentable rights. It's public domain now.
So of course I'm going to give you a peek at the after party per usual. Overall, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, would drink it again. Just be careful, you might meet some really persuasive and fun people who try to convince you to move to Denver permanently. For more details and links, be sure to check out the full article on solidsmack.com. Thanks for watching.